All this week at 4, 5, 6, and 11, CBS 46 News brings you The Gun Fight. It is an unprecedented look at guns and our use of them in Georgia and beyond. No doubt these are divisive issues. One thing both Republican and Democratic voters can agree on, background checks. A Pew Research poll from July finds 88% of Democrats and 79% of Republicans favor background checks for sales at gun shows and private sales.
In fact, at this very moment, the search for a gunman at the center of yet another campus tragedy has just ended with the arrest of a former student.
It happened at the Winston-Salem State University in North Carolina yesterday. One student shot dead, another wounded after gunfire erupted near dorms there. Today, classes at the historically black university are back on schedule, but senseless shootings like this, they beg the question, how are those gunmen getting their weapons in the first place? CBS 46 anchor Tracy Hutchins in studio now with a look at a critical link. Tracy.
Well, Sharon and Ben, those numbers are staggering. The U.S. accounts for only 5% of the world's population, but we have nearly a third of the world's mass shooters. That is from a recent study by the American Sociological Association. We found the common components are access to guns and low self-esteem.
How many more people have to die? How many more parents have to cry out? I sent my child to school and they never made it home because someone who had a vendetta with someone else came in and shot 20 people.
Columbine, Fort Hood, Charleston. All communities devastated by mass shootings. Mass shootings are defined as 4 or more people shot at one time. The tragic reality, there are too many other cities and towns to mention. So many, there is a mass shooting nearly every single day of the year in our country. According to the website shootingtracker.com, there have been more than 300 so far in 2015.
We've seen mass shootings in theaters, in the classrooms, in the workplace. Where is it safe for us?
In your own home. And even then, you're not safe. But anytime you walk out your door, you're subject to be taken out at any given moment.
Vincent Hill spent 5 years in patrol and narcotics on the streets of Nashville. Now a private investigator in Atlanta, Hill says many of those mass gunmen have gotten their guns legally. Like Christopher Mercer, he killed 9 people at Umpqua Community College in Oregon. He owned 14 firearms. Police say he had 6 of them the day of the shooting, including an assault rifle and 3 pistols.
People get into this misconception that when they hear, oh, they purchased a gun legally, that it's from a gun store. But there's other ways to purchase a gun legally. You can go to a gun show. There's only 12 states that actually regulate background checks at a gun show. And also, if you're a private seller at a gun show, you don't have to perform a background check.
And if there is a background check, it only covers criminal convictions, not mental history.
Look at Vester in Virginia. He did not look crazy. He purchased that gun legally. So gun laws currently don't do any good for us.
Adam Lanza walked into Sandy Hook Elementary with 2 rifles that his mother obtained legally. But Lanza was untreated for years for anxiety and obsessive-compulsive disorder. He used his mother's guns to kill her and 26 others, mostly children.
If you were here one day and worked in a psychiatric clinic, you would wonder, why do we let these people have guns?
Dr. Dave Davis says his patients are asked if they're packing heat before they walk into the office at Piedmont Psychiatric Clinic. He says the link between mass gunmen is more of a personality disorder than mental illness.
One thing that seems to be common through them is self-esteem issues, poor, low self-esteem, feelings of being inadequate, no power, powerlessness, helplessness. If your self-esteem is rock bottom, a gun makes you a big man.
I think society, this country as a whole, is just going to have to say, hey, we're fed up with people dying on a daily basis. With over 300 people dead, that's a person a day that has died because of mass shooting. Until this country gets fed up with it, it won't change.
Now, there is no clear profile of a mass shooter, but in many cases, according to the National Institute of Justice, the triggermen are males. Other research shows they are white men in their 30s or 40s and have a history of struggling to connect.
And the other part of this, I guess, that's fairly interesting to people is that these are men who are seeking notoriety in some way, correct?
Absolutely. They know their name will be out there in some form. They want to be notorious. Recently, we've seen a trend of mass shooters mentioning the acts of previous mass shooters and glorifying them. They see it as a chance for everyone to know their name.
Tracy, thank you for that.